Today's episode is with a friend of mine. He's from Chicago. He goes by the name Mr. Hughes. I used to know him as Lil Tone. He's a multi-talented dude. He's an MC, videographer, photographer, writer, graphic designer, mentor, and a fashion designer. Can't wait to ask him about the fashion designer part. And here he is.
My boy, hold on, man. Before you even start, let me give you your introduction, man. Hand you your flowers right now. Man, ladies and gentlemen, this guy right here, I got to say one of the first people I've met when I really first started doing music back in '06. I'm talking about, bro, I remember the first time I seen you perform, and your style of music was so different. I'm from Chicago, so you know the sound I heard was completely different from what I heard when I was in Minnesota. And I remember, correct me if I'm wrong, if these ain't your lyrics. I remember you saying you came in like, I was walking in the streets with a pocket full of sunshine, and I instantly stopped.
Dude, I forgot about that song. Actually, no, I didn't forget about that song. I actually recently thought about that song because, you know, you've heard of the emcee idea from St. Paul, right?
Yeah, I remember.
I actually performed that song in front of him, and I was a huge fan of his, and I was like scared shitless. So that's crazy you remember that.
Man, bro, it's crazy that I remember a lot of things, man, and your sound always stood out to me. And if I had to be honest, I remember asking C4, and I like, who is that cat? He go by emcee. He do can the way that he was describing your music. He was like, this is my first time actually hearing quote unquote backpack hip hop. You
Right.
see what I was saying? So I'm like, okay, because it's completely different from what I'm used to. And as I started digging into your archive, man, you got a lot of uplifting shit, bro. And I love it, man. I love
Thanks,
that a
man.
lot, bro. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, show love to Mr. Nice Guy himself, the
Hell yeah.
motherfucking McC. Excuse me, I ain't even asked you if it's filtered or not.
Oh,
That's
dude, curse all you want, man.
I ain't got no potty mouth, but you know sometimes I get excited, man. I ain't talked to you in years, brother. How you been?
Man, I appreciate that. That's the first time somebody actually introduced me. So we don't even have to do an intro, really. I mean, let's just
Nah,
get right into it. So, yo, bro,
talk to me. Talk
Mr.
to me.
Hughes, Mr. Hughes,
Yes, sir.
man, or as I know you as Lil Tone.
Lil Tone, man. You know what was crazy about that name, brother? When I never was a little dude, man.
I
But
know you never
people
were.
always never was a little dude, but that's what I went by, man. You know, came a long way now, man.
I don't know if it was '06 that I met you. It had to have been like '07 or '08. Were you recording at Jake's place with Mingy, or were you recording at IPR? Do you remember?
When we started recording with Mingy, shout out to Mingy, by the way,
Shout out to
man. One of
Mingy.
the first engineers that had my shit sounding perfecto, man. For real. The first time I feel like we started recording, it might have been at Jake's house first. Because once we started getting in IPR, I started to get real comfortable behind performing. And by that time, I realized the difference from actually performing, like as far as recording and performing as on stage, man. There's two different atmospheres, man. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's two different
Yeah,
lanes.
man.
That's crazy. Then it must have been around that time then, because Mingy started going to IPR in like late '04, early '05. So it must have been around 2006, 7, I guess then.
Yep.
I didn't realize
Yep.
it was that long ago because I'm thinking back in the day, like 2009 when I started recording Mr. Nice Guy, but it was way before that. Because, yeah, if you're talking Pocket Full of Sunshine, like that song would have been like 2006. That's crazy.
Bro, that was if I had to be honest, because we did a few shows together, man, I feel like that was like one of your hitters. Anytime you performed that, Joe, you had the crowd rocking. And I kid you not, I'm talking about from the people that came to support you, from the people that didn't know you. A lot of people was, they was mind blown like hearing that shit too. Cause you gotta think about it. I'm in the crowd observing. And so I noticed a lot of people getting that same reaction I got. Like it's like a breath of fresh air, bro. Honestly, that song to me, it was like one of those type of joints where Shit, just when you thought you was gonna have a piece of shit ass day, you pop. That's that uplifting, everlasting type of music, man. I love shit like that.
That's what's
Real
up.
talk. That's why I remember it, bro. Real talk.
Did you ever have a copy of that? Did I ever give you a copy of that? Because we had it recorded, but
Fuck no, man. Fuck
man,
no. I was gonna ask you.
I can't remember. I think we recorded it, but I don't know if it ever got finished. I know we did it live like handful of times probably, but I think it just got lost in the mix somewhere, man. I would love to hear that again because I haven't heard that in ages. That's crazy you brought that up too, because I was
Man,
literally just thinking about that song not too long ago. That's crazy.
bro, I had man, look, and it's funny you say that. Like, as an artist, I'm pretty sure every artist go through this, man. We lose so much of shit
Yep.
throughout so many hard drives, bro. You have no idea how many songs I wish I could listen to right now, or instrumentals that I received I could
Yep.
play right now, and I can't hear none of that shit. All I have is a memory of it, bro.
I just got to get into this story real quick. Have you heard of the producer Science? He ended up producing for like Jay-Z and like J. Cole and stuff like that.
That name sounds very familiar,
He had a
actually.
hit with Neo. I think it was called Angel.
And he did Angel.
Yeah, he did Angel. So
Ah,
he's a dude. His name's Reggie Perry, and Mingy actually met him at IPR. He was playing piano in this coffee shop that was connected to IPR, and so Mingy heard this dude just playing piano, and Mingy like got his coffee or whatever and walked out, and then he's like, I should go back in there and talk to this dude. So he goes back in, and the dude was like leaving out the other door. So Mingy like
yeah,
chased this dude down. Something inside him was just like, I need to talk to this guy. So he went up to him and was like, Yo, I heard you playing piano in there. I go to school. I'm an engineer, and gave him like his card, and he ended up giving Mingy a CD that Mingy gave to me and was like, Yo, this producer makes beats. You should maybe use some of them or whatever. And he only wanted like 100, 200 maybe at the time per beat, but I was broke as a joke. Like I couldn't even afford that.
yeah,
So I was like,
yeah.
man, these beats are dope, but I can't afford it. Like no kidding, like a year later, he goes and he produces that song Hollywood by Jay-Z with Jay-Z and Beyonce?
Yeah,
He produced
yeah.
that song. I hear that song and find out that he did it, and I'm like, holy shit.
And it's
Like,
crazy how close you are. You be with those
yup.
type of people you don't even know it half the damn time, bro.
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy, man.
crazy, bro.
Just it really taught me to just kind of, I mean, I had a lot of moments like that, but nowadays I'm like, any opportunity I have, I don't want to miss it anymore.
Take it as a sign, bro. Honestly, that's one of those scenarios where you see actually live and directly that you can be in the same room with those same elite people without even trying. So
Yep.
just imagine how it is when you actually apply effort to your craft.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like I don't care what nobody say. Every artist at some point in time doubt their craft. They doubt themselves and doubt their craft. It could be a hard time in life, or it could just be one of them days like, man, I don't feel like doing this shit. You know what I mean? So a lot could go with that, but only the true people that's devoted and know and understand their worth is gonna keep at it. Because sometimes it's so easy for people to allow outside influences to keep bringing you further down, further down. Before you know it, everything that you was passionate about, it just become a memory.
Yep.
You have no. Think about it, bro. And I bet this goes for you too. Think about how many people you may know that's extremely fucking dope at some type of talent, but they don't take it serious at all.
Oh yeah. Tons. Drives me
That's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro. And it's like, man, bro, you could make so much money, and it's just like, man, nah, man, life happened. I ain't really thinking about that shit.
Yep.
And it's like, wow, you know what I mean? So I support you, bro, and I applaud you to see you even doing something like this. I feel like for me as an artist just chiming in with you, it's definitely expanded just my audience, people getting in tune. But also I feel like this is helpful on both ends of the party, just as far as just freedom of expression.
Yep.
Because we coming into modern society now, bro.
Yep.
It's almost like a sin to have an opinion.
Right.
You have to apologize behind every fucking thing you say.
Yep. Exactly. That's crazy,
Crazy,
man.
bro.
That's exactly the point, man, is to bring, connect people to each other and connect people to audiences and stuff like that, and just have these one-on-one conversations. Because because obviously, like, you live in Chicago, so I can't just
Yep,
like drive down there, and especially during COVID, I'm just like, I'm not out there like that. So I think this is a very important avenue for me, to still have those conversations, and to get people
absolutely.
shown to other audiences and stuff like that. So, man, I kind of want to dive into your history. When did you start rapping? I mean, like, you're from Chicago, and you like right away. I'm like, this dude has a very, like, you had a Chicago sound even back in like '06. I
Yeah,
was like, he has that Chicago sound, that like fast rap, Twista. I could tell, like, Do or Die. I could just hear your influences in your voice,
absolutely.
without you even having to tell me. So yeah, how'd you get your start? How old were you?
Man, so to really dig into that, before I actually started like writing music, I was the quiet kid at elementary school, never really spoke unless spoken to, but I was like mysterious. The girls always wanted to know who he was. Because I used to always write poems for girls and just draw. So those my two top first talents. I used to always draw and write poems. Now, what got me into actually creating music, of course, like you said, some of my influences like Do or Die, Crucial Conflict, Twister,
Yep.
Lupe, the list could go on. Because Do or Die and Twister, they had the tongue twisting style.
Yep.
In my mind, I feel like that was one of the most difficult styles to learn, but I was so infatuated with it, as well as Bone Thug and Harmony. So back in the days, when we still had the cassette tapes, what I used to
Yep.
do, this was my homework. I sit down, probably play Po Pimpin' or something. As they rapping, I write the lyrics down, stop, rewind, then I'm spitting it with them till I have to pick it back up. So in my mind, I started to think like, you know what? Let me substitute their words and put my own. Before I knew it, brother, at this probably time, if I had to be honest with you, I probably was like maybe 14. My very first rap, I actually typed it on the computer. And it's like, I'm a man of many talents. I done did it all. I'm still doing it all.
Yep.
But so when I tapped into the music, the artist creativity as far as the creating music, like writing, I've been doing that for a while. But if I had to be honest with you, the very first time I recorded was in 2006. I moved to Minnesota after my freshman year of high school, like mid sophomore year. I started to go to Osseo Senior High.
Oh, okay. That's how you knew C4 then.
That's how I met C4 at the
Okay.
time.
Got you.
He barely went to school, but
Yep.
when I seen him, we linked up. And before I knew it, Fo introduced me. I remember going to like a Fourth of July party he had, and that was the first time I went to like a live party where just seeing local artists get down, and I was infatuated. I'm like, man, I want to be part of that. Before I knew it, here I am recording with Mingy, man. At
Hell yeah.
2006 was the very first time I actually laced anything. But prior to that, I've been writing. I've been a writer, man, since a kid.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'm thinking back to those sessions, because I didn't have my driver's license, but Mingy used to always want me to roll with to the studio and stuff. So he would come pick me up, and we just roll. And I remember mixing your guys' project, and the input that Mingy used to allow me to have on that stuff. And like, I remember just like, I can't remember what song it was, but it was my favorite song. And I remember like adding this or deciding that we should add this one part to it, and it just elevated the whole shit. And that's when like I really realized that, like, damn, maybe like I could be a producer. Maybe I could. Like, that was actually like, I didn't really think about it until now. It's like, it's crazy how it's kind of come full circle, because that really like
Bro, I
made.
thank you all the time. I thank you all the time because honestly, Hard Times was one that was my solo track on the project
That
that
was Hard
stood
Times,
out.
right? Yep.
Yeah. And every time I hear that song, I always thank Mingy and I always thank you because both of y'all took y'all time on making that shit sound perfect, man.
Yeah.
That song itself got me in a local magazine out there in Minnesota. I only remember the name of the magazine,
Oh,
Joe. But
Cipher.
it got there you go. I
Yep.
still remember that. That's crazy. So like I ain't prepared for that. Keep in mind, I'm a dude from Chicago, from the urban community. You feel me? I ain't never experienced that type of exposure. So You know, man, like I said, man, I be lost the words every time I hear that song, man, because every time I used to see Miggy, like, man, that fucking hard times, bro. That's how
Yeah.
he used to say, that fucking hard times,
That was
bro.
my
Like,
jam, dude. That was my shit,
man,
man. Like I love that song.
man,
And me and Mingy both. We just like we literally like you guys weren't even there, and we, like every time we'd play, we'd just be like sitting there, just like bobbing our heads as we're mixing it. Like we just loved working on it, bro. Like that was a pleasure to even work on that track, man. I mean that shit was hard. Do you still have that?
All right, so I'm gonna have to do one special. When we get done, just text me your address. I got very few actual hard copies left.
That's what's up. I would love a hard copy. That'd be dope. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I got very few hard copies left, man. So it's like, throughout the years, over time, we lost a lot, man. But I was able to keep a hold of some valuable pieces. If anything, if I have any regrets as an artist during the rise that me and C4 was having in Minnesota, I think my only regret is not taking control when I should have.
Yep.
My mindset back then, to be honest with you, I was so in tune as being the artist. I wanted to create the music, I wanted to perform, I wanted to entertain. Not really thinking about the behind the scenes, the business part of things. So because I didn't take control, I allowed a lot of shit to go left, man.
Yep.
And I as a man, I can admit my fault, my wrongdoing on that behalf. I wish I took control when I had the opportunity to. Real talk, because I mean, the potential was there, man. The fucking potential was
Oh
there, man.
yeah.
At one point, I say from 2006 to like 2010, man, Minnesota was busting on the music. You had emcee out there, you had C4 Tone, you had the Dump Stars, you had Sandman out there. Like,
Sandman, yep.
I could keep going, brother. That's another dude that down the line of the music. Sandman engineered a lot of stuff for us too, man. I loved working with Sandman as well, man.
Yeah, he's
Absolutely.
he's a dude that stayed consistent. He's out in ATL, and I think he got like a master's degree or something now. Like that
Doing his
dude is a
thing, bro.
smart dude. He's still out there. I think he's still engineering. I think he's still. I never really got to
Yeah,
know him. We talked in passing sometimes, but like I never really. That's one regret. Like he was still working at IPR because I ended up going to IPR 10 years after Mingy did.
right.
So like, I just graduated with my last degree last year. Graduated with my
Congrats,
first.
my boy.
Thanks, man.
Congrats.
Graduated with my first one like 4 years ago, but he was still working there. Sandman was still working there when I first started there, but I didn't really like. I talked to him like I told him who I was and stuff, but he didn't really remember me, and like we just never really connected. But that's a dude that's super talented for sure.
I think he would definitely, if you would have reached out to him, to participate in the podcast, I definitely think he would do it. King Sandman is definitely a humble dude. He was always like a big brother to me, honestly. Plenty of times I done crashed at his crib. We done kicked it outside of music. Like he'll definitely humble down to earth and very open minded to whatever conversation you want to bring to the table. So
Yeah, no
yeah.
doubt. Yeah, we have a lot of mutual friends, so I'm sure I could get him on here. But bro, back to you. So, I was on your Facebook and like I was reading the stuff that you do, and I didn't even realize that you did half these things. So I just gotta like read the list. So you're an MC, videographer, photographer, fashion designer, writer, graphic designer, and mentor. So, bro, fashion designer? You got your own line?
Oh, man, Art Addict Apparel, my boy. Stay tuned. The website is almost ready.
That's what's
About to
up.
start taking in pre-orders real soon. Like, man, bro, like the thing when you met me, I told you I was an artist before. I'm a well-rounded artist. Is the best way to define me.
Yep.
I'm a man of many talents, bro. But like I said, I used to draw first. There was one point in time I actually put the drawing aside because I let the streets get the best of me at one point in time. So it became a memory. It took for me when I've been back home in Chicago the last 5 years now, actually.
Yep.
So when I moved back, I had met this girl. Fast forward, she ended up getting me a job as a youth counselor. Just to put some extra bread in my pocket.
That's dope.
And I can't even lie to you, bro. The crazy thing about this, Joe, this was probably like the best job I ever had. The only downfall is you can't make a living off of it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
working with them kids, man, and just being able to get in tune with different diverse culture backgrounds with the kids, getting in tune with the parents, bro, that just it's like they motivated me to get back into my creative bag, as well as I didn't realize this was a point of time I didn't understand my own worth. I didn't realize how inspirational I could be to not only just kids but to adults as well, which led to me from time to time on my free time. I used to go to a lot of the urban areas, YMCA, talking to the teens, talking to the youth, to just let them know that it's somebody here in the corner whenever they need them. As long as I could just continue to spread that love, let them know I'm here when needed. I'm gonna continue to do so because like make no mistake, man. I could my whole motto is just positivity, stay positive, be productive. But even with me saying that, there's moments I could get in my negative bag, but it took a lot of years of learning how to control shit. You know what I'm saying? So and I'm leading by example right now. So the fashion design, my boy, to come back to that, man, that's just part of me, another form of me being able to express my freedom of expression as an artist. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait to show y'all this exclusive shit I got for y'all, man. The photography, videography, bro. I've been doing that for years. Graphic design for years. Like, what made me pick up the camera, if I had to be honest with you, bro. Um, the very first person I paid to do a music video for me. I remember the whole conversation, short and sweet. He was saying he was charged 500 at first, and I ain't got that type of money. He came back to me like, you know what? I'll do it for you for three. I like, all right. So we agreed to. I pay you half up front, and I pay you the other half after the product is done. As we shot the video, that day went well, but I'm just keeping in mind, I'm asking him to do multiple things for the video as we shooting the video. When he came back with the product, brother, I promise to God, man, if you would have seen the video probably it actually might still be on YouTube. I might have to send you the link.
Yeah,
But
send it to me.
if you seen that video, bro, you gonna be like, no, $300 for this shit? Keep in mind, he said five at first. So it's like when I seen that, I'm like, fuck no, man. That's what made me pick up the camera.
It was that bad?
Bro, I can't wait to when I show you the video, you just get back to me. You let me know what you think.
Yeah, I will.
I, I promise you, bro, it wasn't worth the price at all. So when I seen that shit, I like, you know what? I told myself I want to develop the skill assets to be able to do anything and everything that I could do on my own without having to depend on the next person. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna fuck with those that's certified, because that's still, I know a handful of people that's cold at what they do. But hypothetically speaking, if I say B McSees, I want to record, and you say, man, I can't record right now, bro. Like, man, some shit going down. I bet. 9 out of 10, I'm gonna have some shit set up where I can record myself. You
Yep.
see what I'm saying? I take my files and get it mixed elsewhere. Things of that nature. Just being able to not close yourself in.
Yep.
Pretty much, bro. So I'm all over the place, man. Sometimes I struggle with balancing. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's me too, man. I mean, I'm sure you saw, but I started a record label like 5, 6 years ago called Nice Entertainment, and
You was one of the first to do it, to be exact, as far as the people I know in the music game. You was one of the first to actually do that shit
that's
and
what's up,
hold it
man.
down for as long as you did as well.
Yeah, I did for a while. So yeah, I mean, but the problem was like you said, like I was wearing too many hats. It was really hard for me to balance, and especially once 2020 hit, I kind of had to just like refocus and pivot like I have so many times. So I turned Nice Guy Entertainment into my personal brand. Which I mean, it always has been my brand, but
Right.
now it's just my avenue to be able to explore the different creative things that I do, like doing this podcast, and me and some buddies started this sound company, coming out with sounds for producers to make beats with, like
I
sample
saw
packs
I
and
saw
stuff.
that. I saw
Yeah,
that. That's actually pretty clever, bro.
man, it's
Pretty
dope.
clever.
It's dope. And just the different partnerships that I'm forming with people. Like, I partnered with my buddy V. Vanless Lemonade, and he started his own lemonade company. So I'm trying to help him sell that, and he's just like given a percentage, but we're gonna put all the money that, because he's a singer too, so we're gonna put all the money that I help him make back into a studio. So then
That's dope as fuck,
hopefully we'll
bro.
be able to build a studio. Probably not anytime soon. It's gonna take a lot of work, but yeah. So we're hoping to have like a facility where I can bring artists and he can like cook up his lemonade and like all that stuff like in one building. And yeah, so I'm trying to do all these different things, these endeavors, and I had a group of artists, and they're all friends of mine. They're all dope, but I kind of had to do some soul searching and just realize like why I'm doing this and kind of get back to the love of it. And I was noticing the record label side of things was bringing me more stress than anything.
So let me ask you this: since you had the experience as being the owner of a record label, what do you feel like was the biggest issue you dealt with? Because in my mind, I figure like working the record label is almost equivalent to just being in a group. It's just dealing with multiple egos and
Yep.
shit.
Yeah, that was really challenging, keeping people on deadlines and stuff like that, and also coming up with clever ways to promote everybody. So that was a challenge, to kind of go through every single project and figure out what we could do to cleverly market it and stuff like that. But
Right.
we did some really dope stuff, man. I mean, I booked like, I don't know, like 30 to 40 shows on my own, or not like all on my own, but mostly like with a business partner too. Um,
hmm
we put out like probably 10 albums, did a bunch of different promo videos, music videos.
That's a great accomplishment, bro. That's a big fucking accomplishment.
Thanks, man.
That's great, bro.
And I didn't really think about it right now until, well, I mean, I guess I did, but I didn't really think about really how good of an experience it was. And I guess I kind of had a negative look on it for a little while. I guess I was a little bummed out for a little while that we never popped off like that. But the stuff that I was able to do is dope. And we, like, with the people that came to the shows, we had some pretty loyal fans and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that one day I'll be able to, maybe if I end up building that studio, I can start it again and kind of start mentoring artists again and putting out artists under like a record label type thing.
I mean, like you said, you like I tell people all the time, it's more than just like buying LLCs or just trying to get a name. You have to become your brand,
Yep,
and that's all you really doing. So it's like
that's true.
it might, it might not work out for you how you wanted it to then, but like what you doing now, all you're doing is bringing everything back in full circle, bro.
That's true. That's a good point.
I'm doing the same shit, bro. Like I told you, I have a hard time balancing sometimes because I got my hands in everything, bro. Like I even like 2020 been a piece of shit for everybody. But if I had to speak on the pro, all 2020 I've been making number smart investments. Like, bro, I wish I knew about the stock market and cryptocurrency years ago. I wish I knew that shit.
You got to
Man,
school me
I'd
on
be
that, bro. You got to teach me that stuff.
It ain't never too late. I'm telling you right now, get on the wave. I'm gonna tell you one thing's for sure. If I don't know nothing at all, the value of the U.S. dollar is decreasing. People, it's decreasing.
Yep, that's what I've heard.
They looking for fast money transactions. That's where the crypto come in. I mean, that's just food for thought. That's a whole nother episode, man.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
you know what I'm saying? But just learning little things like that, man, it just continue to make me twice as dominant, man. Like I'm excited for what's to come for myself because a lot of times I can't predict what's coming for myself. It's like I'm good at planning, but sometimes not having the plan is a plan too, man.
Yep.
And that shit just and lay out right, man. It's just
Yep.
perfect.
Yeah, that's kind of my mentality too. I'm definitely a lot more positive, and I have a lot I guess less expectations these days. Like I expect good things to come, but I'm all about just doing the work right now.
Facts.
Not really worried about like oh I'm not exactly where I want to be in life. Because I made X, Y, and Z decision. Like I'm not even worried about that anymore. I'm just like I know what the work that lies ahead. I know where I want to try to get this podcast. I know where I want to try to get my samples. Like I finally have like a reason why I'm doing this stuff, you know?
Absolutely. Let that be your drive, bro, because as long as you have that state of mind, all you're gonna want for yourself is more for the better. Just continue to grow, continue to grow. Like a lot of times people be bummed about shit not happening the way they want it to happen in the past, but you missing the key element. It's the
Yep.
past. What about now?
Yep.
It's never too late. You know what I'm saying? So like I tell people all the time, because you in your 30s, because you in your 40s, don't mean you should stop shooting for your goals.
Yeah,
As
no
long as you
doubt.
still breathing, you can keep shooting for that shit, man. For real.
Yeah, no
I'm
doubt.
trying to look. I'm trying to set myself up, bro. If I could just sit back with my feet up by the time I'm 40, that's great.
So when does your clothing drop?
Our attic apparel is definitely dropping this year. My original plan, I wanted to have it launch on the release of my website, which I was originally trying to launch on my birthday that just passed, December 29th.
Oh, happy late birthday, bro.
Appreciate you, my boy. You know, but one, you can't rush art, and then two, I
Yep.
had got a little bit under the weather, man. I had fucking got a bad case of acid reflux, and in the doctor's term, I
I
had
got
caught the
that too.
GERD. I caught the GERD, bro. This
Yep.
shit is so fucking uncomfortable, bro. I
Yep.
promise to God, this shit is uncomfortable, man. It's like I got like it feel like I'm just bloating at the top of my stomach half the time. Like I got to let off this big ass burp, but I can't.
Yep. I had
You
the
know what I
same
mean?
thing.
So
Yep.
like, how did you get over it? Besides, you know, because like I don't eat crazy as it is. If anything, I ain't eating enough. But like the doctor tried to explain, like just as we get older over time, your body just sometimes collect the acid and it's trying to find a way to release itself. So my question to you is, how did like what methods you went by to like deal with it? Like what were you taking and shit like that? Cause the sooner I can get this shit out of my fucking system, bro, that would be great. This shit is very uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, do you cut yourself off as far as like what you eat, like at a certain time at night?
All right, so to keep it honest with you, if I had to say any flaw I have with myself, it's like I said, I don't eat enough. So I probably could eat one meal that day, but I could be snacking like a motherfucker, Joe.
Yep.
I smoke. So if anything, that probably could fuck me up, you know, especially now I'm a Doritos guy. That could
Yep.
fuck me up. I eat Doritos at 12 or 1 o'clock at night, you
Yep.
know.
Yeah, so my thing, and I've never talked about this on here, so that's crazy that we're getting to this. So I don't know if you have this, but like I'll wake up and it's really gross, but I'll wake up in the middle of the night and it'll be like I'm trying to like vomit, you know? So like it'll but
Mm,
it's like coming from like acid stuff.
yeah,
So like, but I realize that it's always when I eat like after like 8 or 9. So like I have to cut myself off. Like I'm probably gonna have dinner after this, but like that's like the latest that I'll eat dinner. So like if I
right.
don't do that, like it won't happen at night. But I also had this weird thing, and not to get too graphic, but it was related to all that, I think, but it's called um small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and basically it was this thing where the bacteria was in a different part of my intestine than it was like supposed to be. So it was
Right.
causing all this havoc of like just wreaking havoc. And what I was doing, like I became sick in August of last year and it didn't go away for like 4 months. And I had this constant like stomach, like gut rot almost like pretty much what you're describing kind of. And
Mm,
my thing was like, I don't know if this is what did it, or if it was just a coincidence, but I I drank kombucha like every day because my girlfriend was always like, "You need probiotics. You need probiotics," and so
right.
I was drinking kombucha constantly. And when I stopped drinking kombucha, that's when that stopped. So
Seriously?
basically, yeah. So basically, the kombucha was adding like fuel to the fire. So basically, like
Mm,
what I read is the kombucha was like the bacteria was already there, so the kombucha was just adding more to it. So every
right,
time I was
right.
drinking it, it was just making it worse, and I didn't realize it. So I stopped that completely. But yeah, for me, it's really like I have to really keep my diet in check, and I have to stay on my exercise grind. Otherwise, like I have major stomach and just digest digestion issues just in general. So,
Cause if this shit just telling me to get my ass back in the gym, you ain't got to tell me twice, brother.
oh yeah,
I'm definitely that's definitely the plan. It's just like, gosh, this shit is so fucking uncomfortable, man. You know
no
what I'm
doubt.
saying? So like, the sooner this get over with, it'll be over with. But you know, I scheduled an appointment for my doctor next week, so all is well. I pray everything will go right well. So we can get off that subject,
Yeah,
man. But
word.
definitely food for thought for people out there that might be dealing with this issue. Take this insight, think of the things that would be soothing for your stomach, stay away and only eat low acid food. I know that for
Yep,
sure.
yep,
Yeah, we good, brother.
no doubt. Man, I'm excited for the stuff you got coming up though, man. Are you still putting out music? Are you still doing the solo stuff?
Now you talking, my brother. Now you're talking. All right, man. So I feel like a solo project from Mr. Hughes been anticipated since the very first time I actually recorded. I never recorded the solo project, and this year is about to be the first time, brother.
That's
The
what's
first
up.
time I have. So far, I have five. I have eight songs written up, but I feel like five of them in particular I'm gonna use. The sixth one for sure I'm gonna use is definitely you hearing it first off of one of your beats, my boy. To be exact, the beat you sent me, man, I love this. I love first off, your archive of beats is so fucking dope, bro. I love your beats anyway.
Hell yeah, that's what's up.
I haven't recorded in about a year and some change. The funny thing, being a group of guys, we built a booth at my homie basement like a few years back when I first moved back out here. But I personally haven't recorded in about a year. So I'm like overwhelmed. I'm super excited. Like I said, this is my very first official solo project. Like I've been listening to people for years since I started doing music. Even the people that try to, like I could say this. I don't have people come to me a few times be like, man, bro, no disrespect. I like C4, man, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I really wish you did this song, a particular song yourself, or man, when you coming up with a solo project, or just people that know me growing up with be like, man, so you need to put out that solo project, bro, because everybody know you got it, and it's like, if I had to be honest, this me accepting a flaw of mine in the past. One of the biggest flaws of my about myself in the past was I was too much of a team player. And when I say that, I'm saying it in the terms of I always used to put my own personal goals in the back burner because I saw the potentials of
Yep,
what it could have been with a group,
yep,
whether it was with music, whether it was with
yep.
a relationship with my girl in the past, whatever. I always put my full focal point on that person or whatever we was focused on, and I always ignored my own craft. You know what I'm
Yep, that
saying?
was me with a record label, bro. That was exactly it.
That shit crazy, bro. And before
Yep,
you know it, you realize the whole time while you trying to push forward with this situation, you actually hurting yourself right now.
yep.
Real
Yeah,
talk.
that was my thing, man. That was exactly my thing. Like I was way too nice and I was working on way too many people's, you know, careers and projects without, expecting any money and anything like that and putting my time and even my money like into all everybody else's goals but mine.
And I bet you half the time when you was doing that shit, you probably felt like half the time the people you was investing in was very fucking ungrateful.
Yeah, I mean, not always. I mean, I definitely know like I got real ones still in my corner and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess I could say yeah. When I look in the past at certain people, not to throw anybody under the bus, but yeah, man. And so that's another reason why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. Just getting back to loving myself and loving my craft and rediscovering my love for production and even I'm even like kind of writing again and trying to get back into my own, maybe I'm gonna come out with an album at some point. Wouldn't that be crazy? So I mean, so I'm trying to get back into my own lane and do what I do.
Man, you doing it, bro. You ain't trying. You take trying out the vocab. You doing that
I'm
shit,
doing it,
man.
yeah, hell yeah. But man, I'm stoked you're gonna use my beat though. That's dope.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. See, my first instinct was I'm finna write to all this shit. But see, like I wanna like I said, this is my very first. official project. I'm using all official shit. You know what I'm saying? And I want this to be perfect. And I don't know, man. That beat it just fit perfect it's perfect for the overall sound. And
Oh,
I like every time I listen to that beat, I'm like, man, I always put me in that groove every time. Just oh man, they gonna love this one.
hell yeah.
That's a universal track right there, brother. I love
Appreciate
it.
that. So you just moved back to Chicago 5 years ago? You lived up here the whole time?
Man, I was up there, man. I was under the radar, man. You know, like I kind of put music in the back burner for a while. You know, I had to get myself right mentally and physically. You know, I I had it was one point in time. I mean, I ain't ashamed to talk about it. At one point in time, I was actually homeless out there. You know what I'm saying? Like for
Oh,
like a
damn.
year, trying to get myself right. Like, and if I had to be honest, it was by choice. I could have been moved back, came back home to my mom's, get my head right and everything, but I don't know. Maybe it was the pride in me just told me to do it because I need to live to learn. I need to
Yep.
know. You know what I'm saying? So, you know how I was at a low point out there, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely bounced back quick because it ain't meant for me to stay down there, man. I'm a king.
Yep.
Should no
No
king be
doubt.
feeling like a peasant, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, like, real shit, man. So, I came a long way, bro. You know,
You did, man.
me coming back home, I felt like it was needed. I came
Yep.
here to just, you know, be around family and I got comfortable. So before I knew it, I ended up, you know what, let me set up shop here, man. So I got a nice ass fucking 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom here. Just me. You
That's
know what I'm
what's
saying?
up.
I like peace and sanity, brother. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, yeah, I can even tell, bro. I mean, just in this conversation, I mean, I feel like we've talked many times, but like this is the most I feel like we've talked. You know, like in
facts. Oh,
like you
facts.
were always like just super quiet and timid back in the day.
That was me. I was observing, I spoke and less spoken to. You know, we probably laugh and bullshit here and there, but it was always like mild small talk, you know what I mean?
Right. That's really what it
So,
was. Yep.
yeah.
But I mean, I can even tell, man. I mean, even like your confidence, your presence is just, it's different, man. It's like it's new. It's like the real you. Like I'm proud of you, man. Like I'm happy to see that.
Likewise, my brother. Likewise, man. And like I said, man, my whole motto, man, just stay productive and positive, man. You know, shit gonna get hard, and everything shit don't happen overnight. But don't give up on yourself and knowing and understanding your self worth. That's a
Yep.
necessity. That is
Necessity.
definitely a necessity, man. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? And once I understood that shit, man, like I feel unstoppable, bro.
That's what's
I'm
up.
just, I'm just keep elevating, man. I'll keep elevating, man. And I wish the same to you, brother. I'm proud of what you're doing, my boy. This is fucking amazing. The funny thing, I just watched the first 2 episodes before I chimed in with
Oh
you, man.
yeah.
I like this shit, man. I really like it. It's you kind of getting in tune. I feel like your guest is you getting insight of them as well as despite this is your podcast and you know you're doing an interview, but outside looking in, you still get insight of who you are as well. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? That shit dope, bro. That's it's fucking dope, fam. And sometimes, like for some people, they might not be that great at communicating in person. So to have a platform to just do your fucking thing, man,
Yep.
great.
No
This
doubt.
shit's great, bro.
I
No
appreciate
doubt.
that. Hell yeah.
I'm definitely subscribed, brother. I'm definitely tuned in, man.
I
And
appreciate
keep
that.
doing it, man. I feel like I feel like as you creative, bro, you got a boss state of mind. And I say that with the utmost respect because believe it or not, we all want to be bosses, but in our reality, we all can't be bosses. Some of us have roles. You are meant to be a worker.
Yep.
Sad but true. Everybody can't lead, bro. Everything you've been doing under your brand, you've been leading. That's some boss shit. Real
Yep.
talk, bro. So I salute you for that, my boy. So anytime you ever feel like you're doubting yourself again, just remember your fucking accomplishments, man. Because despite you might not feel like you ain't getting nowhere with your record label, how many other people you could say they release multiple albums under a fucking record label, bro?
Not too many.
Oh, I don't know none. I don't know too many. Not the number you just said at all.
Yeah.
That's
I
real talk.
I know a few, but I mean, yeah, not a lot.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You doing boss moves already, so it's only gonna get better from here, bro. For real.
Facts. I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that because I don't hear that stuff often, man. I mean that stuff I have to like generate myself. That stuff I have to like tell myself. That stuff I have to like remind myself of. So I don't often hear people say it in the way that you just said it. So man, I really appreciate that.
That's real, bro. Like I said, man, I always been observant. I pay attention to even the smallest details. And it's like throughout the years of me doing the music and living in Minnesota, I met some amazingly dope people, man. And you happen to be one of those dope people, man. Like anybody that know me, that remember this face throughout the journeys of doing music from '06 to 2012, or even me just coming through your house party, showing love. If you know me, if you only know me because of C4, if you know me because of my music, if you know me because you just ran into me in the streets, this is me just spreading love, saying I'm live and well, and I appreciate y'all, and I still love y'all out there. I got family. Minnesota will always be my second home, man.
Yeah, no
I ain't
doubt.
no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
No doubt. Damn, that's what's up. Yeah, I mean, I guess I really didn't realize even like when we were talking earlier about just how much of a impact I had on you, like even like you remembering that song and like the different things that we did in the studio and stuff like that. I had no idea. Like you really, you know, remembered all that.
Man, bro, it's crazy because, like I said, me coming back, for keep in mind, I'm coming from Chicago. I never performed out here in Chicago. The first time I actually performed in Chicago, I was 25. I came back home and I had threw a big ass birthday bash and I performed for my friends and family out here for the first time. That shit was live, lit. I ain't even think I was gonna bring that many people. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy. But out there was the first time I really got in tune with music, from recording to performing to just networking in general. And you were definitely one of the very first artists that gave that, like I said, I've introduced, considered backpack hip hop. I was introduced to a completely different sound. And one thing that I'm big on when it comes to artistry is originality.
Yep.
You ain't sound like nobody still to this day. That's what's crazy. Still to this day, I haven't heard no other artistry sounding nowhere close to the type of music you was producing compared to when open mic was big back then when we was doing that shit. Like depending on the location you did open mic. Prime example, if we go to the Red Sea, I'm more likely to hear group. I'm gonna hear multiple artists that sound like a spin-off Lil Wayne, a spin-off Jeezy, a spin-off Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And then which made it so easy for you to pinpoint those artists that sounded like themselves. That's why
Yep.
it was easy to pinpoint you, bro. I don't know what the fuck it is about that song. Like that first line, I still remember to this day. I feel like you had a backpack on and everything, bro. You was swag the fuck
I probably did. I don't even remember, man. I mean, that it was
out.
probably at like Dinky Town or something. I performed that shit, right?
That's exactly where it was at
Yep.
Dinkytown. Yep,
Yep.
man,
That might
Dinkytown
have
was
been
the
the same
shit,
show
bro.
that I was telling you that Idea was at, and I performed it in front of him. That might even been that same show because I
It
want to say
could have been.
we only performed that song like not even a handful times. Like I don't remember, but like people liked it. I don't remember why it didn't end up happening because I was in a group with that dude Matt at the time because
Right,
that's who I did the song with. But him and I
right.
kind of had a falling out, so like we were like up and down always. So I think that's why it never really ended up coming out and stuff like that because we never really like had our group solidified and all that stuff. But man, that's crazy.
It's crazy. I remember that too, man. And it was even crazier that you mentioned Dinkytown, man. That was the fucking spot, bro.
Yup, that was the
Dinkytown was the
spot.
spot, man. Damn.
Yup.
I could, man, both times that we did shows, that was fucking ridiculous, man. It was
Yup.
over. I love that shit,
It
man.
was always packed, man. I mean, like always popping. Almost every show that I went, and countless shows. At the time, I didn't have a driver's license either, so I could just get as drunk as I possibly like wanted. Like, so I would just get like shit faced and just like see some of the dopest, you know, rappers, and it was just like the funnest times in
Yeah.
my early 20s, you know, and Yeah, man, and it was crazy when that venue shut down because I was recording Mr. Nice Guy at the time, my album,
Mhm.
and Mingy had told me, I think he told me like as we were like in the studio at Jake's house, like man, Dinky Towner just shut down. I'm like, what? Like it just like threw me for a loop, and then I finished Mr. Nice Guy, and I can't remember the timeline, but Mingy had lived out in Austin, Texas for a little while, and I think I want to say he moved out there right after we finished Mr. Nice Guy. So I think he was living out there, but he used to run sound at this place called Trocaderos. I don't know if you ever went there.
I remember that name.
Yep,
Wow, get
yep.
the fuck
It
out
was
of
a
here.
bigger venue.
Wow.
We opened for Tech
Yeah.
Nine at
Yep.
Trocaderos.
Yep.
Um, and but he had got me my release party there for Mr. Nice Guy, and that was about to be a huge show because, I mean, it was I can't remember how
You
many.
had flyers, you printed out flyers for that,
Yeah,
didn't you?
yeah,
I
tons.
remember that. I
Yep,
remember that.
yep. I printed out like at least 200, if not more.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
they were like nice, like postcard, um, ones, like super, like nice ones. And so Mingy is like in the airport, I want to say, about to fly back, and he calls me and he's like, "Bro, I'm like on my way back, but Trocadero's just shut its doors." And I'm like,
Seriously.
"What?" And he's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, they put a sign on the door, didn't tell anybody. They just like people came to work and it was shut down. And
What?
Michael Jackson died in like the same, I can't remember the exact timeline, but in the same week. So
Right.
Michael Jackson's like one of my favorite artists of all time. So that
Same
week was
here.
just devastating for me. But if that wouldn't have happened, I don't think I would have ever gotten into booking shows because I didn't have a venue to do my release party. So I was like looking at all these different options, and Mingy, like he was coming back anyway, so he came back, but he was only going to be back for like maybe a week, so he couldn't really help me set up any other shows. So I had
Right.
to like kind of scramble and look for other venues, and I emailed like every venue, and I finally ended up booking my first show as my release party myself, and I had to put like a deposit down and everything, and that was like my first experience, and that went well. I mean, I think we did like there was at least like 200 people in there, I think.
That's great. That's
um
great.
so that was crazy.
They don't realize how much of an accomplishment something like that is for a local artist, man.
Yep,
200 people. That's
yep.
great.
Yeah, it was huge, man. So yeah, if it weren't for that, I don't think I ever would have like had the idea to really be a show promoter, or like even start my record label, because the shows were a big part of the record label. So
Right.
and I never really thought about that aspect of like putting two and two together. If that venue wouldn't have shut down, I would have never probably done that. So I just realized that right now. It's crazy.
It's crazy you even mention that venue, man. I haven't heard that name in a while. Like, I think the show that pre-release party we did in 2009 we was one of the last shows at Dinky Town before it closed up. I feel like
You're probably
it was the
right.
show. I feel like it was the show the day after, and Carnage was performing.
Yep.
That was the first time I seen Carnage perform too at the Dinky Town. That dude was pretty dope, man.
Yeah, Carnage is
Pretty
crazy.
dope,
He's still
man.
doing his thing too.
I saw that, man. He buzzing out
Yep.
here, man. Like that dude he's really dope. And you know what? I would say this actually about Carnage. Shout out to Carnage. He was one of the first artists I met in person that was animated. He's extremely
Yep.
fucking animated, bro. And I ain't understand it at first. Back then, I'm like, why the fuck he acting like that? But it's character. It's character. That
Yep.
shit's great, man.
And you
That's great,
probably,
man.
I don't remember back when he started this, but now, like, he's really good at beatboxing. Like, that's like a big part of what he does. So
Really.
he has a loop pedal now on stage with him. So he'll like make his own beats like as he's like performing. So he'll like, do a little beat or whatever with his mouth, and then he'll like add to the beat and do all these crazy sounds, and then he'll just bust into his rhymes like on top of the beat
That's
that he
dope
just
as
like
hell, man.
constructed with his loop pedal. That dude is incredible, man. And he's been going. like
for a
since like the
while, bro.
90s. I think like since the mid 90s, and he's still. I don't think he's ever slowed down.
And he's going hard, and you know that just shows that. See, he been doing it for so long that you can't do nothing but take your head off to him. That's full throttle independency right there, man.
Yep.
Everybody be looking for that quick handout. That's why. So that's why you got a lot of artists getting caught up in these 360 deals, man. We live in a modern society now. Like it's the perfect time to be independent. You got all these platforms now
Yep.
to be independent. Back then, we back then, I say like back in '06, out of 10 people in a room, maybe three of them in there that was probably like full time, like heavy in being an artist,
Mm-hmm.
where the rest of them was like just the entourage or what have you.
Yep.
Now we go in that same room today, and 10 dudes, nine of their ass is an artist in some type of way, and 9 out of 10, that last one, he's affiliated somehow, some way.
Yep.
So it's like it became that much more saturated, which
Yep.
is why originality is a necessity.
Yep.
That's why I said what I said to you, bro. Even now, here in 2021, your style is your brand, bro. That's still your style. Cause I never heard no music like yours, bro. And I ain't gonna say like yours, like as far as like your sound, how your way of creating your music, how you even rapping, your format of bars. I haven't heard shit like that before, man. You know what I'm saying? So I remember everything. I remember everything. I remember it's a lot of artists in Minnesota I still haven't named. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? You know the crazy thing about it? I guarantee you, I could name all these artists and half of them probably don't even remember me. Despite we was buzzing, we making some noise out there.
Right.
Half of them probably don't even remember me, and it's okay because
Yep.
I want to catch you now anyway.
Yep.
I like
Man,
I don't people I don't think a lot, man. The shit I got right now, man. Oh my god.
I can't wait to collaborate with you, and I can't wait to see your clothing brand pop off, and I can't wait to see what 2021 and beyond has in store for you, bro.
Keep pushing the nice guy entertainment, bro. You got a subscriber right here. I'm heavy in tune. Any way I can help expand the brand, bro, holla at your boy. I'm always traveling to Minnesota, so I'm always on the go, man. So keep doing your thing. I appreciate you for blessing me, man, on your platform. It's an honor to be here. You know, like I said, Mr. Hughes live and well. I got some big shit in the store for everybody, man. So thank you again, bro. I appreciate this shit. This shit was dope as fuck, man.
Hell yeah, you're dope, man. I appreciate you. Have a great night, bro. Thank you.
Likewise, my boy. Holla at you.